What's up, everyone?
Howdy. How y'all doing?
Hello.
What's up, Mr. Green? Josh is flying on the radar. He's going under his business name tonight. Took me a minute. I was like, who? Oh, yeah. What up, Mr. Croes?
Uh-oh. Nadu's on.
Yep. He said, watch later. Oh, he changed it. He's flipping back on us. You always do, brother. We appreciate it.
Yep.
So we got Nick Gill, funniest man in the world.
If y'all missed that show, go back and watch it.
I still need to go back and listen to it. I don't think it's up on Apple Podcasts for some reason.
It's not. I gotta. Okay, so after the show, I'm going to download what I haven't and try to get them up there. So because I've been very relaxed on it, and I need to. But anyway,
I was gonna go back and listen to it the other day. I was like, oh crap.
Well, you should just message me, say, hey, where's
it's all good. We've been busy.
Yeah. So anyway, how's your oh, look, there he is.
Mr. Hudson. We were just talking about you. Was your ears burning, buddy?
I figured he'd be on here.
Yeah.
How's your week been?
Been crazy. It's been crazy since March 1st. The water fountains have unleashed, and we've been trying to keep just swimming. So I think
that's a great thing to have.
Oh, absolutely. No complaints at all.
And a curse at the same time. So.
Yeah. No, it's not been a curse. We've been happy to have it and just trying to figure out logistics and everything, making it all work. It's been the hard part, but we got it figured out, and it's running pretty smooth right now. So,
heck yeah.
What about you? How you been doing?
Great thing. So,
I already know, but
yeah. So for all y'all, okay. So last Friday, I had a job that was a 23 model Grand Cherokee, had a sharp crease in it, a little bit of paint damage. Don't go say that. I love it.
Yeah.
Anyway, I had a lot of stuff going on around the shop, like outside the shop, and I needed to flash it with my torch. And I was doing that and didn't realize that I stopped my hand moving with the torch lit. And that white Grand Cherokee, that spot looked like a roasted marshmallow. It just burnt that paint. So, you know, I've done conventional repair. It's just been a while, but I knew that, you know, hey, I caused it. I'm going to take care of it. But if you tried to go through a body shop, it was going to take a long time for you to get it done. So I spent all weekend. Any and everything that could go bad on that sucker and went bad.
It happens.
And, you know, had it ready by yesterday afternoon. He picked it up and just loved it to death. And
nice.
So that's all. And I didn't charge him anything, of course. He still wanted to pay for the dent repair. I'm like, no, I'm not charging you anything. This is my fault. I'm taking care of it. And
that's what you do.
He loved it. So
that's good.
Anyway, other than that, everything was fine. And, you know, I got, you know, a couple of hell jobs from the little stuff that hit around here. But other than that, man, just normal stuff.
We keep getting false alarms. We've had like 5. Oh, hell, and nothing. I don't know. It's like, quit. So Bonnie, I was talking to Bonnie in the 75 hard group yesterday. She said, y'all going to get it? I was like, no, we're not buying. Like, it's not. I promise you. It's like it goes this way.
Excuse me. There's been a lot going on, man, hail-wise, and just bad weather because last Friday – Thursday. No, Friday. Yeah. My daughter and her boyfriend came home from Arkansas from college. And the day they left is when it hit North Little Rock tornado there, which luckily lifted and went over Searcy, which is where the college is, just northeast of Little Rock, and then hit up there around Nadu.
Yeah, they tore up their little bar they go to eat at.
So they were calling for the same stuff yesterday. Luckily, nothing happened, so it was good. But, a lot of hail been hitting, a lot of bad weather. So I know we wish for it because of the hail, you know.
But you don't want the destruction with it.
You don't want it. Just like when
I'd rather have everybody safe and not have hail than to not, you know, get hail and everybody's shit be destroyed. So
yeah, we're even in this industry, we're storm whores. Just like I was when I traveled for 9 years managing disaster work. We wanted the disaster. We didn't want death.
Yeah.
We wanted because that's how we made our money. But
right.
So yeah, great show tonight. And we already
I'm
got it.
excited. I'll be getting to learn about Steve firsthand because I haven't got a chance to talk to him or nothing except for a little bit before the show. So this be a good show.
So
I
I
like.
don't. Yeah, so I don't know him personally, other than I met him at MTE, and he is who I was talking in line with to get a beer during the award ceremony. And that's when we heard, that we won the Golden Mike Award. And I come back off, and he's like, "Congratulations! Here's 2 beer," And he was super nice. He was really asking us about our show and why we do it and all that kind of stuff. So, uh, this is somebody like what we normally want to get on. Somebody seems like a really good person. Been in the industry for a while, and
Obviously,
I love
having our friends on, but it's really cool getting somebody on that I haven't talked to. So we're all getting to learn about that person together. So this be real cool.
And me looking up because I'm going to Facebook stalk whoever it is, and dude, I mean the stuff he does, he does a lot of bike racing and stuff, and so we're going to dive into that and really get into it. But anyway, let's go ahead and get him on here. But y'all, welcome to the show, Mr. Steve Croes. What's up, brother?
Good day. How are y'all?
Oh, great. How are you doing?
You kind of heard how our week's been going, so hopefully yours is going a lot better. But
yeah, I didn't have to paint any cars, thankfully.
Same.
But I can tell you what, it's just like PDR. You learn what you did wrong, and everything that I did wrong the first time I fixed it, and I had to go back and repair it again. I'm like, now I remember,
Was it?
So the next time I'll know what to do.
Was that thing pearl white too?
It was not pearl white.
Oh, thankfully.
It was white. Yeah. It was white, and I was able to blend into both sides of the door so it matched up.
Nice. Awesome.
But it was way overstretched. I even told him, I was like, look, I wouldn't have been able to fix this without taking everything apart anyway. It already had paint damage, but if I didn't.
Josh said, "What are you trying to protect behind that door?" I just noticed.
That's another office in there, and that's where we'll pull the hoods and trunks in there, and we'll do them in there in AC instead of doing them out in the shop.
I was about to say, is that when you put the adjusters and lock them in there till they make sure to pay you?
This is a temp location that was already on there when we got here, so
sweet.
I like it. That's hilarious.
Now you're out of Houston, correct?
Yes,
but you're
in Houston, just northwest of Houston, in Cypress for. I guess I've been out there for about 26 years, 27 years. So, yeah, it's been good.
Where'd you move from to go out there?
Really, I moved from Houston, just out. Yeah. So Cypress is a suburb of Houston. So moved out there, I guess about 95, and I've been out there ever since. So I've been in the same neighborhood for like 26 years. Been through 5 houses, 2 wives, and man, I really miss one of those houses. So,
oh goodness.
I was going to say Brendan Yeager was in Houston. I think he just got back from Houston. He's got family down there and was hanging out.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
Disappeared for like a month.
So we'll go ahead and dive into, kind of like we do with everybody else. I was telling you beforehand, and kind of get a quick synopsis of how you got started in the PDR, industry, and how you learned about it. That's always neat to kind of hear, and to where you are now. So
yeah. So back in like 91. My dad had several transmission shops. Amco Transmission was a big franchise.
Yeah.
And he wanted to sell because of the EPA stuff and OSHA, all the chemicals and everything like that. So he said, find something we can both do. So he sold the shops. And I just started looking. I've always loved cars since the first day I seen him come home in a hot rod when I was probably 4 or 5.
Yeah.
And just always wanted to be around cars. I started looking at some stuff like detailing, and then I came across this little training ad in Opportunity Magazine or something like that, and it was dent repair. I was like, oh, that's cool. So one of my best friends who lives in San Antonio at the time, I started telling him, yeah, I'm looking at this thing. It looks like dent repair. It looks pretty cool. And he goes, well, I got a friend here in San Antonio that does that. We've used them several times. I was like, oh, we'll set up a meeting. So set it up, go to the guy's place, and he was running a pretty good operation at the time. He had probably 12 guys working for him. And we took him to lunch, and he showed us around and stuff like that. And so we talked to him at lunch, and I said, well, why don't you just train us? So I don't train anybody that doesn't work for me. I was like, oh, okay, no big deal. So I said, which one of these places would you go to get trained? And he was like, I wouldn't go to any of them because they can't train you in a week or two. It takes longer than that. So asked him again. He said no. And then the second time I asked and he said no. I said, I looked over at the waiter. I said, another round of drinks. And so brought some more margaritas. And by the time we were done with margaritas, he's like, okay, I'll train you. My dad and I drove to San Antonio and stayed there for about 2.5 months training. And it was 5-6 days a week. We were like 9 to 5.
Yeah.
And just before we were about to leave, they had a huge hailstorm in San Antonio. He comes out in the shop and he's like, hey, y'all want to stay and work off some of the money y'all paid? I'm like, oh, yeah. So it was an awesome deal. We got to work on the tail, it was perfect.
You can't beat that.
Yeah. So when we left there, he said, y'all are probably better than like 95% of the people out there. And I just thought he was BSing the kids. We just paid him a bunch of money.
Yeah, he's like, hey.
He's gonna butter you up just to send you out there.
Push him out.
I trained it so good. Y'all are better than everybody in the
country. But we actually got out in the field, and I think he was pretty right, because I was seeing all sorts of dent work that would look terrible, and I'd spend, of course, at that time I'd spend hours on a dent.
Yeah,
but I'd get it right, the way he taught us, and so it just worked out great from there. I guess since 91, 92, we've been doing it. Awesome. My dad retired probably 15, 16 years ago. And I got my oldest son working for me. I got my middle son and then my younger brother, who's chased hell most of his career. But it's been a great career. I love working my hands. I can do paperwork. I hate it.
You're right.
But I like working my hands. I like to be able to see something that I fixed or did and it's right. So I've always been pretty much self-driven, so I just wanted to be the best I could, and it took me a long time before I was better than my dad. It kind of pissed me off, but
well, not trying to age you or nothing, but I think I was 9 or 10 years old when you got into PDRs. No problem.
Yeah.
Just keeping you grounded there.
Yeah. If they had the tools they do now back then, oh man, I'd be better.
We say that all the time, because I started in 03, and it's crazy. Like glue pulling was not where it's at now and stuff. It's just crazy how far the game's came. Rest in peace, left eye. What the hell? I don't know what that means.
I don't know. It's Facebook user.
Yeah, it's probably Tad. Probably Tad thinking he's texting somebody. I was
about to look and see. I don't know.
Yeah, I think the first MTE I went to was when it was at the Corpus Christi.
Really?
The goat and sheep barn? Yeah. That's where we were.
That sounds like
it. Yeah. And so that's where I got to meet most of the people, and people were just looking at the shirts that I had, and they're like, hey, where'd you get that done? Everybody's asking. I even had some people say, can I use your design? No.
That's fine.
It's your own shit.
Back off. Yeah.
So
we were talking about your shirts before the show. Like, it is a really cool design. Like, you stand out a lot more with that, and I do like that look for you. So it's awesome.
Yeah,
I like how all the different logos are incorporated into it.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Pretty cool.
Yeah. So the shirts are called Sublimation. I guess most people know about them now. I race BMX outside of working, and my sons and I go all over the country racing. But when we were racing for a team, the team we were on was getting jerseys that were sublimated like this. And so when I went to have new shirts made 15, 16 years ago, I was like, I want something nice that's going to stand out. And so I just designed a shirt that I liked and then sent it to the people. And after a few things back and forth, they made it work out good. We went to SEMA like right after I got the shirts, and there was so many people that would stop me from all these different companies. Like, hey, where did you get those shirts? And so I just tell them, you know. But going back 2 or 3 years later to SEMA, man, lots of people have.
Imagine that. It's funny how that works.
And now you can't go there. I mean, everybody got sublimated shirts. So
copycat league.
Yeah.
Sublimation got real big in the last 10 years. Really in the last, say, 5 years, 6 years.
I'd like to get some stuff. So we don't have any sublimation. Like, I think it'd be cool. Like, we got Ray new shirts, and Amanda got some new shirts, and they're vinyl. And man, them things are gonna be hot this summer. Like, it's just so thick. This is Ryan Campbell, by the way. He was replying to Hudson. He just texted me.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I kind of figured it out because Hudson's saying, don't go chasing waterfalls. And
I don't know if it's still Ryan or not. It said, I doubt it. Orlando 2011, 2012, somebody met you at their first MT. This is why Facebook users are fun.
That was Bob Cormack.
Oh, okay. Bob Cormack.
Bob, yep. Bob's good guy.
Nice. That was I think my first
Brian Mills. Man, everybody's like a Facebook user tonight.
Yeah, y'all making it hard on us.
Y'all go click that link in the description and grant StreamYard permission to see your name. We know y'all know how to do it because y'all do it all the time. But
he's talking about SEMA. I'd love to go to SEMA sometime. That's one I haven't been to.
Oh, it's off the hook. Off the hook clothes. I mean, I'm like this all day. My neck hurts. My feet hurt. It's like you can do 20 miles in a day and still not see it all. It's just
crazy.
I heard it takes at least 3 days to really kind of see it all, maybe more. But
yeah, for sure.
You'd at least need 3 days to. That way you can kind of stop. And old Dent guy down here with me, he went years ago. He said, if you ever go, take a book bag, will you? He said, because every booth has something free.
Exactly.
I sound like Bobby.
Yeah, I'm like, yeah. Okay.
And then you got the girls.
You just walk around.
And you got to get pictures of all them, and I can see them all. Short story, a funny story, and if Don Kavanaugh's on here, then he'll remember it. But my boys and I are walking around. We got our shirts on. We're all matching, and if you see us dress up, usually all of our stuff matches. Our shoes will be gray and green and black, or gray and blue and black, whatever, depending on what shirt we have on. And so we're walking around, and this guy comes up, and he's got, I think he had like cargo pants on or something like that. He had a T-shirt, like a rough beard, 4 or 5 day beard. And he comes up, hey, man, y'all do PDR? I was like, yeah. And he goes, I do PDR too. And I'm like, okay. So we're talking to him and everything else, and he's a super nice guy. And then it's like, okay, we're going to take off. So we leave. And I think the first thing I said to my boys, like, I don't even think that dude does PDR.
He's like, I do it in the Walmart parking lot.
So maybe 2 years later, if that, I meet him at MTE. He's like,
oh, shit.
Holy crap. He does. He does do PDR.
That's hilarious. No, he's just following. He's like, well, I got to live up to the law now. I got to go to MTE.
That's right. Yeah.
That's funny.
That was good, though.
Yeah, for sure.
Was it Don or?
It was Don. And I said, Don, I'm sorry. I didn't think I could be wrong. I didn't think PDR.
So he's probably like this.
I can see it now. Like, yeah.
I mean, he can get cleaned up and look good, but he had like a rough beard on, and I think his hat was on backwards. He had all right.
We love O'Donnell. Don's awesome.
Yeah, he is.
He was on him and Gregory were on Vadine's Denson Dreams the other day talking about training. I think Vadine was doing like a training for all the trainers and stuff, trying to get them out there so everybody can kind of, ask them about PDR, can make their decision themselves a little bit easier.
Yeah.
All right, Bob,
you're good now, Bob.
Now.
Good job, my man.
Bob went to like a small little rodeo, like bull riding the other night or something like that. I saw pictures. That's why I guess his profile picture now is a cowboy shirt and hat. But anyway, forgot what I was going to say.
Squirrel. Yeah, I'm waiting. It happens. And I'm half asleep, so I don't even know what.
One of them days, it's just like, huh. No. Quick story. So yesterday, Ace, about my dog, my German Shepherd, Steve, about chewed up a baby kitten here.
Oh,
so there were two little kittens, probably about this big, out front yesterday. I pulled a truck around, and I'm like, oh crap. So I went and I shut the gate. He hadn't run around here yet. Well, they were right here in front of the window. And so I got my wife and I went back there, and because every time I try to pick them up, the wild ones around here, man, they just want to scratch crap out of you. So I go get my welding glove. As soon as I grabbed that glove, Ace knew exactly what I was doing. He starts just going berserk. So I go out front and try to get the first kitten over here. Well, the sucker ran away from me and went through the chain link fence. And I grabbed the back of it. But by that time, Ace was already standing there. The head, everything in his mouth. And he's just going to town. And I'm like, oh, no. Everybody coming out of the other shops and stuff around here. I'm like trying to kick him off. And he's like trying to grab it while I have it in my hand. And I'm like, dude.
A whole shit show.
Yeah. I go to get the other kitten after I got that one away. And it's just like nice as can be to me. I think it's
like, yeah, I'm good.
It's like, I'm good. Yeah. Yeah.
So anyway. Bob, you guys do mainly retail? You do some wholesale? What kind of is your business model?
Me?
Steve.
Yeah, did I say Bob?
Yeah,
I got Bob.
Yeah, Bob does retail.
I told you I'm half asleep. I don't even know what I'm saying tonight. It's just coming out.
So we did have a shop for probably 5 or 6 years, but at that point it was still pretty new. So, you had to really get out there and get more wholesale work than anything else. And we didn't have hardly any hail in Houston. So we ended up just doing a lot of mobile stuff for dealerships and went after wholesale. I think my first month in business, I made $85 total.
Really?
Roast $85. And I was like, holy cow.
Did I make a mistake?
Yeah. I was newly married. My wife is like, oh, shit, I got to get this thing going. So I'd been through many different sales trainings through AMCO, the franchise my dad had at the time. And so I just used a bunch of that stuff that I learned and started going out to dealerships and hitting them up. And I don't think I got any account that I have, and a lot of them I still have to this day.
Really?
By not hitting them more than 4 times.
Yeah.
Each one, I didn't get a single one until I hit them at least 4 times and just tried to show them what I could do. And so it just worked out really good from there. Picked up some accounts. Like the first couple of accounts that I got, I've been out there 4 times and finally went out there again. And it's like, yeah, go ahead and let's try this job. So they gave me a job to do. I fixed it. And the guy goes, okay, well, walk the lots. Let me see what you got. I think I wrote up like 39 cars, maybe 40 cars. And he goes, do them. I'm like, oh, yeah, we got work.
Yeah, a lot of it. Let's go.
Yeah, so it was probably like that. And then the next one, I think it was maybe 75 cars that the guy
really.
Did. And so we just like, trying to bust them. So,
that's
but
awesome.
It started out really good. And wholesale has been where we've made most of our money here, probably in the last 15 years, maybe 20. I've wanted to do a lot more retail, and just by word of mouth, I've been getting retail, but with website design and just word of mouth, we got a lot more.
Yeah.
And got lots of 5-star reviews. I mean, all 5-star reviews.
Awesome.
We just try to do the best work possible.
For sure.
Train my sons up, and they know I'm anal as can be. Like my yard has to be done just right, edging just right. So they've seen that throughout, them growing up and everything. And so both of them, both Corey and Kingston, are they're probably better than me now. I mean, they're extremely good. I don't mind putting on anything big.
And how old are they?
Corey's 35. He'll be 36 here shortly. Kingston's 26. I got a younger son. He's 20. I want to beat him up. And and then I got a little girl, Corbin. She's 6.
Oh, so, awesome.
Yeah. Nice. So I'm working on a baseball team. So
you're gonna be retired if you keep it up.
I know, right?
Next thing, I have baseball shirts with the ding lifters on it all the time. We come rolling out.
That's right.
That'd be awesome.
Now you said you hit all your you hit everybody up 4 times. How often did you go by to check on these dealerships and stuff?
Probably once a week, and
really
call them twice a week. Just say, hey, I'm here. Just got something here. Oh, my guy was here, or whatever it was. In sales, a lot of times it's not being the slickest talk or anything like that, or even the best tech. It's just about perseverance.
Right.
And, they can see you want to work. Like I've never been afraid of working.
Mm.
So I've had probably my own business since I was 12, mowing yards for home builders out in Katy.
Nice.
Suburb of Houston. So I've always been like, I'm ready to work. Like, I'll get dirty. Let's go.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, it's about building that relationship with them and just being a nice person, and you don't have to be like slick, like you say, and
right.
I'm the best around. You need to do just be nice, just be courteous, treat them like you would anybody else. A friend, and
right.
And they're gonna love you and they're gonna stick with you.
And I applaud that persistence. Like I always had that head trash when I worked for Dent Wizard Prospecting. Like 2 times, I was usually done. If they said no twice, I was rolling out. And who knows, if I'd went back 2 more times, I might have got those accounts. But it's just that head trash. Like, all right, I'm pissing them off. I'm done at this point. And so,
you went up to the used car dealer and the new car manager and stuff like that. But then I would just start handing cards out to every salesperson that was there, and then I'd go to the service and do the same thing, And even with the technicians that were in the back, I said, hey, I do dents. Ding a car, call me. I know we can fix it. So, and it just went from there. So,
yeah.
I don't know. Have y'all ever chased? Y'all chase or?
Didn't once.
Yeah, me too. For 2 weeks at Brandon's house.
That was last year.
Yeah.
This is my second time to chase. The first time was in Denver back in 14 or 15, and then here this just January. So you get a chance to make all that money. It's super great money, but like I love my family.
Yeah.
Not to say that the other people don't, but I'm more committed. I was more committed to my family than I was to making a lot of money as far as like hill money. So
and that's why I don't. One of the reasons I don't do it. I traveled for almost 9 years, 7 days a week, managing disaster cleanup before I ever got into this. So I was gone all the time, and I swore up and down I wouldn't travel again. Now, the only reason I went in 2020 to Oklahoma was because right after COVID, they shut everything down. They got hit. And it got slow here because nobody was selling cars because nobody could go out of their house to buy a car.
Right.
And so I got a call. I was like, I'll go for 3 weeks, come back a week, go for 3 weeks. If you need me like that, I'll just keep doing it. Made great money, come back, and picked up.
Yeah, that's good.
I like being in my own bed every night. Like it's just a nice feeling to be home every night. And we're trying to build something here. And actually my new team member, Ray Slate's watching tonight. So what up, Ray? I don't like saying employee. I feel weird saying that shit still. So it's team member. That's how we roll over here. So, but yeah, we're trying to build something here. And you go chase. I feel like you're going to lose part of that if you're out chasing while you're trying to build something at home. So
yeah, it's hard to do both.
Yeah,
it is. But like
Brian
me,
Mills is doing it. Like
yeah.
he's killing it. So it can happen. It's just I would have a stroke before I made both of those work at the same time.
Yeah, right.
And it's baseball season right now, so I'm not going anywhere till that's over with.
Yeah, I was already trying to get him up here. I'm like, hey, you come hang out with me for a couple of weeks. I owe you one anyway.
I had somebody else text me yesterday about, you want some hell money? I'm like, yeah, here.
Yeah.
I appreciate it, but if things change, I'll let you know. But I just,
Yeah.
we'll
Yeah, in the early years, I'd have to cut out early and say, Dad, I got to go. I'm coaching my boys' baseball teams and stuff like that. So it was pretty important to me to be there and see him grow. So,
I mean, I've coached him, when he was little, and then now he's a junior in high school. So I'm not missing these games, and he's a pitcher only, so we don't know exactly when he's going to go in. What games. So I'm going to make them all.
Duty calls. Brian said it's hard. It's like starting back over every time you get back home from chasing the retail. I can only imagine. Yeah, home's where it's at for me anyway.
Yeah, no doubt.
Me too. Well, let's get into I know we've kind of talked about just a little bit snippets, but who you are outside of the PDR world. So we know you got 4 kids. We know their ages and all that and stuff. Yeah. And but you kind of went into doing the bike racing stuff. So how long have you been doing that? Where all you said you travel all over the world doing it, and I think you've got your son or sons into doing that too.
Yeah, well, I've been to Aruba to race, although they weren't racing when I was there, unfortunately. But that's where most of my family is from. It's from Aruba.
Okay.
Croes, the way it's spelled, Croes, is like Smith here.
Gotcha.
There's like, when I go there to visit, they're like, you have family here? Like, yeah, I got a lot of family here. Why? Because they want me to spend a bunch of time with them. So hold up.
Yeah.
All right.
But the same friend that got me into told me about his friend in San Antonio, PDR. He was racing BMX, and when we were kids, he raced, but I couldn't because my parents wouldn't take me.
Yeah.
It bummed me out because I was really crazy on the bike. I could do whatever I needed to do. So when I turned 36, I decided to rebel and start.
That's 36.
Invited me to a race. I went and bought a.
I'll show you, Mom and Dad.
Got my own bicycle.
Yeah. I'll even buy 2.
Yeah. So had my first race in San Antonio, I think it was, and I don't think I've been my first 6 races. I think I was at 6 different tracks around Texas, and just started loving it. Got really good. So when Kingston, Corey was living with his mom most of the time, but he did race some. We went to Pennsylvania and raced there and some other places. But Kingston and Rush, we were the ones that were mostly going around and racing all over the country. Corey at the time, he was 16, 17, had a truck, a girlfriend. He was good.
Yeah.
But been all over, met, probably most all the pros. Met a couple of guys. One of the guys here in town, in Conroe, Kyle Bennett, he was like one of the best racers that you would have ever seen. Ended up passing away, but we would hang out. We would fly to these different races, put our bikes in, boxes and in golf cases and stuff like that, tear them apart, and just travel to different races, shack up at hotels, and sometimes it'd be like 12 of us in a freaking room.
Dang.
Like, let's just go do it on a budget. I didn't care, it was fun. And then we'd all race and go out to eat afterward, get back early and go to sleep and be ready to race again on Sunday morning. So It's been great. I've taken numerous hits, but you just get back up and start racing again.
How's your knees? I know that's hard on a
knees are really good, and really it's the knees aren't a big deal because if you're landing properly off of a jump, everything's smooth. Like you're going off smooth, you're landing smooth. So it's not a big deal unless you crash, and then you got to worry about your knees. So
right.
But
I've just met a couple people in the past that dirt bike race and stuff, and they, as they got older, their knees were kind of shot. So I didn't know.
Yeah,
I guess they wasn't landing properly.
Yeah, it's not quite as jarring as motocross, BMX. Okay. If you're doing it right, you're smooth, and you're just pedaling as hard as you can, and then jumping smooth and everything else.
Right.
But it's actually kept me in pretty good shape, like because I have goals for state or for national, whatever it may be, top 10. And so it drives me to stay in shape and eat right and hopefully not drink too many margaritas. So
unless you try and learn PDR, that's on time.
So,
no, isn't David White, doesn't he do BMX? Or is he dirt bike?
No, he's not dirt bike. I just think he does mountain bike, kind of like Kevin Bird and that. They just kind of more recreational
stuff. And...
He may. I don't know.
Yeah,
I've seen some videos of him, but that was a couple of years ago or something. But I don't know. We'll ask him after the show.
Yeah, I think this past year, my two younger sons, they probably done the best they've ever done. One got second in state, the other one got first in state, and then had a national #1 for the race of champions that they have. And so it did really good. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, it's good to see that. So
yeah, it makes you proud.
Yeah. Me getting older, I'm in an older group now, 56 and over. And I was like, man, I'm going to be racing these old dudes. And I get up there like, I'm an old dude too.
So wait a minute.
He's still fast.
So hold on. Theirs is motorized.
Right? Like the guys that I race, most of them, that are in the top 10 in the nation, they're all ex-pros. They started racing back when BMX got started. Yeah. And so, I would look at them, I'm looking at these guys in magazines back in the day, and now I'm racing these freaking babies. This is badass,
That is pretty awesome, especially, you don't, like me, I don't know about all the racing stuff. I don't know that they still do it at your age and stuff like that. And that's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
How big are the courses and stuff usually?
Most of them are about a quarter mile, sometimes a little more, sometimes less if it's in an arena. Okay. We got a track here in Houston that in 2020, I think it opened up. It's probably one of the premier tracks in the world now. It's Rockstar Race Park, and it's maybe 30 minutes from my house. It's got a huge hill for the pros and then one for the amateurs, but very technical track, and it's great practice to go. I mean, if we can dial in this track, then we can dial in any track around the nation.
Is it dirt or is it?
Yeah, it's dirt, but it's like you hit the ground, it's like landing on concrete.
Oh
it's
yeah, I'm sure.
Compacted.
Asphalt turns, and so we've been all over. I was in Orlando and then Bakersfield at the end of the year last year, and then went to Tulsa for the championships. But just fly all over and race, and it's just a ton of fun. Sometimes I get it handed to me, sometimes I get lucky.
That's awesome, man. I'd love to see it.
Yeah,
I loved BMX stuff back in the 80s and 90s, and I loved riding. But that's back when I could actually sit on one of those seats. I couldn't. I wouldn't be able to walk for days just sitting and pedaling somewhere. I'd have to have one of them grandpa seats, the springs and everything else.
I had my Dave Miraharo back in the day with the pegs and everything. Trying to do tricks and breaking my face in the driveway.
All right. Yeah, the seats, you're only sitting on them when you're waiting to get on the gate. Other than that, you're off the seat the whole time.
Oh, I imagine.
But like just riding around, like I'll try to we'll go camping and stuff like that, and I'll jump on my son's mountain bike or something like.
Dang.
Nope.
Yeah, I got a stationary bike at home, and I'm doing that. A lot of times, that's my first workout of the day, and I'm like, get off, and I can barely walk. I'm like, Jesus Christ, what was I thinking? But yeah, like you said, that's a little different situation. You ain't on that seat. You just pedaling like hell.
I remember. So my parents never would buy the expensive shoes and all that stuff. My cousin would get all the Nikes and the Jordans and stuff like that. And I'd get the Walmart brand shoes, and but right after damn, my mind's gone. What's the damn BMX movie?
Oh,
Rad.
Yeah,
so right after Rad, came out a couple of years later and stuff, and I wanted a BMX, but I wanted this lime green with the white seat and all this kind of the white tires and stuff like that. And they took my old bike, took it apart, paint. I mean, it looked great, but it still wasn't a damn real BMX.
Right.
Put pegs on it and stuff like that. I mean, I loved it, but
you ain't got that huffy. You got that snuffy. Right. It's a great way to break yourself while camping.
Yeah.
It's funny, getting into the bikes. I just bought a regular old BMX bike at the store, not at Walmart, but I think it was one of these national chains they have,
like Academy or something like that.
I don't think it was Academy. It's some other store, a bike store, and I went and raced it for a long time. But after we started getting more into it and everything else, you start wanting to get this part for it, carbon forks, titanium, this and that. So I was like, when I got the boys into it, Kingston first, like I wanted to set him up good, so I got him just a regular bike, and then he started getting better and better. Well, he's by the time it's all said and done with, he's riding on like a $1,600 bike, and he's 6.
God dang.
Like, hey, none of your friends ride your bike.
No.
Okay. And I'd see a kid on there, so I'm like, what? Boy, get off that bike. Your mama ain't got the money to fix that thing.
Oh, goodness.
But yeah, it's just really anything with wheels and an engine, or wheels and or an engine, I love. Like if it's a boat, I love it. Sea-Doos, bicycles, I'll ride road bike too, and I got a couple of really nice road bikes that I ride. Some motorcycles. Like I've always just loved vehicles, and they've really been my passion. I think that's why I just love PDR. I mean, like I could retire, but I love what I do,
Right.
So, but I do like getting off. The PDR has really helped me to where I am now, because now I'm able to do stuff that I really like to do, travel and go all over the place, for weeks at a time. So boys can handle the stuff while I'm gone, or I do it over the phone. So
that's nice.
Yeah. So you all have motorcycles or what?
Yeah, no, if I did, I'd be divorced.
I had a couple crotch rockets. I had a CBR 600 F4i, then I went to the ZX10, and then figured out I didn't get to ride that much with kids, so got rid of that. Yeah. Now I got a little 87 square body now, 396 small block in it. So
nice.
I grew up on 4-wheelers and 3-wheelers,
okay,
but two wheels like motorized, no. Mm-mm.
Yeah,
I miss my ZX10 all the time. Every once in a while, I'm like, man, I wish I'd just hop on that thing and go right now. But
yeah. So my second wife, I kept telling her, like, I want to get a bike. She's like, no. I was like, well, I want something that goes really fast. She goes, we can get something that goes really fast. I said, well, the thing that I want that goes really fast is a Ford GT. And I don't know if y'all know what that is.
Mm-hmm. Very well.
Yeah, so like that's pretty expensive.
Yeah,
I don't have that yet. But I tell you, I've been divorced for about 4 years now, and now I have 3 motorcycles.
What
When you were
What all
talking
you got?
about the Z10, ZX10, I have the ZX14 Ninja in the lime green,
Mm-hmm.
and
Nice.
my Harley Road King, and then my Yamaha Striker. I just absolutely love that bike.
Nice.
Like,
That's
so,
awesome.
Yeah. So
I thought about like a Busa or the 14, but I like the smaller ZX10 for like I like whipping curves a little bit easier and stuff. So
yeah.
I went a little smaller. And plus, I thought with that, I was like, I'll build up. I'll start out at 600 and 750, 1,000. It was the first day I turned it so much up to 1,000. Like, let's go. It didn't last long.
The first motorcycle I got was a ZX11. Like,
oh yeah.
I like it 500 is 500, but this ZX11 looks pretty nice.
You're right.
Picked it up, and it was fun because I ride out a long time ago when I was really big into sport bikes, and we would go out on the weekend, usually a Sunday morning, and just leave early at 6, 7 o'clock in the morning, and just head out I-10. And it's a long stretch of straight road.
Yeah.
You get up to 176, 177 miles an hour. And that would keep you high all.
Oh yeah.
For
sure.
Yes.
And then we'd hit the curves in the country and everything else, grab some lunch at one of these mom and pop stores out in, nowhere, Texas.
CFE, yeah.
Yeah, we walk in, we'd have all our leather suits on and our helmets and everything. They're like, what the heck, It's super fun.
You boys don't fit in around here.
That's right.
That's one thing I regret. Like when I had my bike, I never went to it. The Tail of the Dragon out here in like North Carolina. I never got to go to that, and I want to go. It's like I can't remember how many turns and so many miles. Like it's
like
just constant, like 111 turns and a couple miles,
17 miles or something, or maybe not even that.
That's where I want to go. Is either take the Striker or the ZX out there, both.
Yeah,
I've heard it's awesome.
Oh yeah, that's what I heard. And like I said, I regret not going while I had my bike. We talked about it, never made it. So
yeah,
I like at the bottom of the hill they got a bunch of marks on the tree where everybody wrecked their shit. There's like marks all over the tree from like the wall.
318 curves and 11 miles.
That's it. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So a little backstory on why the second wife said no to the bike is because the first bike I had, I rode it really well. I mean, I could throw it around and everything. It was a big bike.
Mm-hmm.
But then it had a problem with it or something like that. So I borrowed a buddy's bike. One of my best friends, who I'm still best friends with him today. And so it was like I think it was the R6 or something like that. It was the X6. And so we're out riding, and we were way out, and it was my birthday. And my wife's like, don't go spend it here. Like, man, it's my birthday. I want to go ride.
Yeah.
So I was well more selfish then, for sure. Back then. Wasn't grounded yet. But I told her I'd be back by 12, and like at 11:30, I look at my watch like, ooh, and I'm still like an hour and a half from the house. I'm like, I'm gonna have to make this quick. So we, like 11 or 12 of us, get back on this road, and we're hauling butt, and the road I've been on many times before, and I knew the road, so I'm leading the pack, and they're pretty far back, and I'm pretty much dragging knee just about through each turn. I knew the turns. I got to this one turn, and I started hearing this stuff hit the fairing, and all of a sudden the bike slid down and slid to the grass, high-sided me off the bike, and the bike ended up hitting a tree about 10 yards off the road and just disintegrated. I ended up about 65 yards in the woods. Had the leather suit on and everything, and got to my knees. I looked around. I could hear cars and people screaming and everything. I was like, what in the world? My back hurts. I laid down and then waited. And I heard this lady. It seemed like 4 or 5 minutes later, this lady starts yelling. And I just raised my foot up in the air. That's all I could do. Mm-hmm. And she came over. She was a nurse, and she actually was there until the paramedics came. But so
that was your third wife. No,
yeah, that was the first wife. The first wife gets a call from my best friend. He's like, Steve, accident. Because we're in the middle of the woods, like Sam Houston State National Forest. And the cell service wasn't good back in '96. So, but anyway, I'm out in the field or in the woods, and this lady's helping me, and I was like, I think I'm laying on a stump or something like that. So I raise up, and there's nothing underneath me. Ended up broke my T4, 5, and 6, my back, and broke my C2, and then broke my arm.
Jesus.
But it was kind of funny because my best friend comes running out there. He pulls up on all the other bikes who are sitting on the road, and he's like, "Hey, somebody crashed?" Like, "Yep, out there." And who is it? Like, it's Steve. And he's like, "Did y'all go?" We don't want to see that shit. So, like, all they did, I think one of them saw me just fly.
Yeah.
And, so he runs out there, and I'm sure surprised to see me alive. And so he's asked me questions and everything like that. And I said, "Hey, Ray, is the bike rideable?" He goes, "No." I was like, "Are you sure?" He goes, "Steve, the engine's over there, over there, and I think there's an imprint of something in the tree."
I was gonna say there's a fairing up there.
Okay. So they ended up taking me to hospital, and I had the halo on for about 6 months. They put in my head here and here, body cast and stuff like that.
That's scary.
But yeah, so like the second wife, she's like, "No, you're not getting another bike."
But understandably so at that point. Like, I can kind of see where she's coming from on that one.
Right. Funny thing is, like 6 months after the accident, or 7, I bought another ZX11.
That's crazy.
But I just bought it to sell, and I ended up selling it. Like, but my wife was so mad, man.
Imagine.
Yeah. So, hey, babe, look what I got.
Oh. Yeah. See, what had happened was.
So I'd always wanted, like, I always loved ninjas and stuff like that growing up. I wanted one, but but then I got in when they were, doing all the bike building stuff, the OCC and the West Coast choppers and that. Right. I love metal fabrication. That's what I want to do, is build them.
Yeah.
But, I couldn't own one because when me and my wife were dating, one of her good friends at the time had a little sport bike, and he had a broken arm. He just got it out of the cast. He went over on the bike to the girlfriend's house. When he left, he did a wheelie leaving that, and at the end of the little road was a 90-degree turn, and he hit the oak tree at the end, died. And so then it was like, "You're not ever getting a bike."
Right.
Okay. Can I build them?
Yeah. See, I was lucky with Amanda. She actually liked the bike. She wanted to go ride with me all the time. That was another reason it was hard to ride, because we both wanted to go ride, and the kids were at home. So one night that's why that ZX10, it had a smaller, thinner back seat on it. One night we went to Nashville. She's playing, like, my ass hurts, and that's probably usually it's about 30 miles to Nashville. We made it back in about 10, 15 minutes, I think, that night. I was like, all right, complain about it again. I just hammered down, and we was gone. Stupidity, but it was fun while it lasted.
Your mom rides, doesn't she, Andy?
Yeah, I don't even know what kind of bike she got at the moment, but yeah, she took off from here to Florida on her own, and shit scared the hell out of me. Like, I was the nervous parent in that situation. Like, God dang, but she made it down. I think it broke down on her once, but she got her fixed up and rolled on. So she's in the big with all the bikers and stuff around here, which is really cool.
Yeah.
Ginger Bros fix. Senior moment.
The reason I tell you about the crash isn't just because it was spectacular or anything else, but
there we go.
It was pretty much a defining moment in my life. So when about a month later, I had my halo on and everything, me and my best friend would go back out to the crash site. And so we're in my Mustang GT, and we're going through the curves and everything like that. And I knew exactly where it was. So we pull over where the crash site was, and across the street there was a Croes. And so I went across, and it was the same. It was like the night before I crashed.
Really?
They pulled the vehicle out of the woods. So that stuff that I heard was all the pine needles and everything like that I hit. that I would have blasted a turn had it not been for that stuff.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I ended up going right to the spot to where my bike left the road, and then walked out. And I told my buddy, he's probably 6'1", 280, 290, big guy. I said, stay here, Ray, and I'm going to go walk out to where I was actually at when I landed or whatever, where I stopped. And so I went back out there, and I turned around, and it was like 65 yards. I turn around, I don't see him. Like my big friend, I don't see because there's trees that are well bigger than I could spread my hand on the screen right now that are in my way. So it was really at that moment like, I should start thinking more about this God thing a little bit more.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, he was looking out for you there. Yeah.
Like I shouldn't be here.
Right.
You should have hit a tree and you.
Yeah. Shortly after that, I did give my life to Christ, and
awesome.
Yep.
I'm not perfect. Yep. God knows it, and everybody that knows me knows it.
Ain't nobody perfect.
I love Jesus, and like he's the reason why I'm here for sure.
Hey, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Mom rides a V-Star, and its name is Sam Elliott.
So she can always say she rode Sam Elliott.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah. No,
Roadhouse Sam Elliott.
Yeah, as a Christian, we know that we're not perfect, and you know, it's just that's
yeah. It was life-changing for sure. I mean, here I am having these wild and crazy parties, Halloween parties at my house. You know, everybody's drinking, everything else like that, and then you know, you turn your life around, and like people that you start knowing now through church and everything else, they're watching, you know, and then all the people who you partied with are watching. You know, so it's like, okay, so I got to change some stuff up here. So I did start changing slowly, you know, but it was funny because everybody knows I'm fairly outgoing and wild. You know, I can do some crazy stuff for sure. Especially in vehicles or motorcycles, whatever. But I had a lady in my neighborhood. I was walking my son to school. It was almost right across the street. And she's like, hey, I think you'd be really good at teen Bible study. I was like, well, I'm not a teen. No, you would run it. Like, do you know who I am? Have you heard the rumors? So I didn't think much about it. I went home, no big deal. And then another lady came up and said the same thing. They were trying to get a group together of adults to teach these high schoolers Bible study and stuff like that. And so after the second lady asked, I was like, I don't know. I went back to my wife at the time. I said, yeah, you know, this is weird, but I've had 2 women ask me to help in a teen Bible study. And she laughed. Well, okay. So it was funny because then I had one of the ladies come back around and ask again. I'm like, okay, I've read the Bible enough at this point now that I know 3 is a pretty important number. You know, you're giving 3 chances to do something. The Trinity, whatever you want to say. I just had 3 in my mind. Like if I'm asked to do something 3 times or something, you better be sure I'm going to do it. So, okay, I'm going to do it. So anyway, I thought I was going to be teaching these kids or having to, not knowing, you know, I felt inadequate about it for sure. But I think I got more training than they did. It was like what those kids taught me, like it was good.
Well, you know, it's and I've always told everybody that so I was like basically forced to get baptized when I was 11 or 12 by my real father. I mean, my birth father. And because every time we went to see him, we had to go to church, had to do everything, you know. So it was just everything was driven down my throat at the time. And so when I was older, you know, I just didn't.
Right.
So when we finally, when my kids ended up going to daycare, which is our church now and stuff, from my oldest one, she's 19. So when we put her in daycare, we put her there. And there was always this older guy, older than me, you know, he every Friday he'd stand there and greet you, and we called him the Biscuit Man because he'd give you Hardy's biscuit, and, hey, how you doing, and all that. Ended up becoming one of my best friends. He actually is the one who got me into this industry. But he owns a pinstriping business. But he would come and sit with us and do a Bible study and stuff like that. Well, my wife didn't grow up in the church and, any of that. So I knew, a decent bit about it. I thought I did. But anyway, they would come and do that. And I told them, first day they sat down, I said, I will sit here and I'll listen to everything. I said, but if you start trying to shove it down my throat, you're not welcome back anymore. And never did. Of course, she finally decided she wanted to get baptized. I wanted to get rebaptized too at the same time. So we did it.
All Jack heard was Hardee's.
Yeah, I know. But anyway, so I've always told people that, and it's hard. Like, I can see where the women wanted you to do that to teens, especially if it was teens that didn't grow up in the church, stuff like that, because I can relate to somebody like me and you who became Christians better than somebody who was just straight laced in a church all their life. So I can see it.
Yeah,
I can see it.
So yeah, the second wife, she was pretty.
I almost made it. I got to take my piss.
She was a new Christian for sure, and so it actually just worked out really good. She was much younger than me, and so we got married. But she was very inspirational for my two boys because she really did help out tremendously after the first divorce to help get them in line and everything like that. But so it's just now I'm single again. It's a lot more difficult to stay Christ-like.
Oh, I know. Trust me, it's I deal with it, but that's why we rely on him. We're going to be steered away and then try to live the best life we can and try to plant that seed with others.
Yeah,
we all need help, but anyway, we could go into some depth on this stuff, but
right.
But to get Hudson on here one time,
oh Lord,
he can really get into it.
So a lot of times, if you, I know you, Brandon, you're on my Facebook, and like I'll do a joy bomb. I call them joy bombs, and it's just a way to keep people focused on Christ, including me. And it's been sporadic here in the past 6-7 months for sure. As far as I usually put them out every Friday. If I'm out of the country, I'll do a video joy bomb or whatever. It's just a simple thing to like if I'm going through something, there's got to be like one other person that I think God wants me to say what I'm doing and how I may be struggling or succeeding, whatever it is. But just something that keeps us focused on Christ.
Awesome.
And usually I started off just with text. And so I'd have to text 10 people at a time. And I probably had 600 or 700 people on my phone at a time. And, every so often you get somebody, I don't want to be on here anymore. Because, going through a divorce or something like that, you get pretty like, man, this is like a bunch of BS, and they don't want to hear it or whatever it is. But I always kept it Christ-centered. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, that's a lot of times that like I'll put stuff out there just to keep people focused. And I'll, if you look at my Facebook page too, I'll put some crazy stuff up there too. It's like
I check it out.
We all do.
It's like I try to be funny about it only because I know Christ. I know God has a sense of humor because I look in the mirror every day. Like, I see. Yes, you're a very funny man. You're a very funny man.
See, I don't really, I don't go to church, but I'm a believer. I grew up in the church and stuff. I like my, doing the 75 hard. One of my things is my outdoor walk a day, and that's when I'll, thank you for my blessings and all that. So that's kind of my way of doing it, but not much on the going to church every Sunday morning, dressing up and all this and that. I just kind of handle it my way.
What day are you on?
We're on, crap, what did I tell you, Brandon? We got like 16 days left.
16 days left.
Dang,
Day
that's good.
59.
I made it to day 68, and then I didn't have enough time to get home from a Christmas party I was at, and I didn't get the second workout in. But everything else I did, and I got pretty ripped up. The girl I was with said it could have been like a second workout. I was like, no, I'm not going to count that. I'm not going to count that. No, but yeah, it's hard, and I've actually got people to do it. But you definitely have to stay focused and just make a commitment to do it for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
I did great when I did it my first time, and of course we did a big group of us that started it.
I think we're down to 4 or 5 now.
Yeah, my shoulder went out again, and that got into my head, and I've
lost 20 as of this morning. I was down from 225 to 205. So,
all right, that's good.
Yeah, I'm actually enjoying reading. Like I like reading anyway when I got time. That's the hard part, but now you got to make time for it, so it's a little different. So, reading The Secret right now, it's a good book. Brandon got me actually onto that one, so
I've got to listen to that one. I can't read that one.
I think I'd do it again, but I wouldn't do the reading part. I would do the Audible. Audible for an hour.
Yeah, I know. I can listen to books all day long.
If I listen to a book, I don't retain listening to a book. I got to actually read it, read the pages, and it's got to be like dead silence. Where I'm like this morning, I came up to the shop early and I read where it was quiet, and I can retain it that way. But if it's anything going on, I'm not catching shit.
Bruce.
Yeah. Bruce said I live weights every morning. I lift my dead carcass out of the bed. You're a trip, Bruce.
That's one thing. I think the boys have always kept me pretty active too. I know growing up, my older brother would have some situations with my dad, and I didn't want to ever be a dad and have a situation with my kid. So I've tried to work out almost every day since the time they were born. Yeah. And I think I've only had to get in one of my boys' faces one time. I had to get him on, poke him in the chest, and just say, "Hey, I work out every day, but anytime I want." He never bowed up with me again.
Goodness.
But yeah, I do like to take care of myself and exercise. So.
Yeah, I didn't at all before this. Like I was a fat ass. Like I went from not drinking to eating Little Debbie's all the time. Like I had to replace that alcohol with something, so it was Little Debbie's. And so I ain't gonna act like I like the shit. Like I still don't like it, but I'm doing it because it's more because I'm stubborn than it is like I think than getting anything. I was like, I'm doing it, damn it, and I'm already in here. Why not do it?
So I met Brandon at the MTE, and so he said something about Ginger Bros. I was like, oh, I think I've seen something about that because I hadn't just seen it. I hadn't really got online, anything like that to watch. And so I was pretty fascinated when he said what y'all do. And so I wanted to get to know why do y'all do it? And the benefit, what is the benefit? I think I asked him point blank, what is the benefit? Is it for sponsorships or tools? Yeah. What is it? What motivates you to do that? So I don't know if people have heard that or your answer to that. So
I mean, I probably, sorry, some weird car going down the road. I could probably speak for both of us.
Stealing mail.
Yeah. I mean, it looked like the first car that started doing that crap. But, we were kind of coaxed into doing the show.
Kevin Bird.
Neither one of us were wanted to really be on camera and all this, but we went.
I can see why.
Yeah, we went for it.
Right.
But
I got a face for radio too.
Yeah. But we were. Let me go back by. We came to a conclusion that we're like, all right, if we're going to do this, we don't want to be like every other podcast out there just talking about tools and
which is great, by the way. Like we listen to those and we love it. Like I love listening about tools and stuff, but we wanted to set ourselves apart.
But if we're going to do it, we're going to do something different. And we like getting to know other technicians and stuff. So we're like, why don't our show be about getting to know the technicians on a personal level? but we don't want to just pull the same guest that it's currently on this show the same week or month or whatever. We really wanted to kind of, and we've done a good job of it, is getting newer technicians or technicians that have been around for a while but kind of fly under the radar, or ones that we don't really know. And of course we've had others on, like Kevin Bird and Don Cavanaugh and all, and several. Dave
a couple times we've
Strain
done some training, like Gene and John's training, and Matt Moore and Carson's training down at the Easy, like stuff we firmly believe in that we thought people need to know about. But for the most part, it is definitely getting to know people outside the industry.
And we've had sponsors, but we never went out and searched for it. So before
we got asked. I was like,
before our very first show, somebody reached out and said, "Hey, do y'all have a sponsor? Can we sponsor the show or whatever?" And we didn't. I'm like, nobody else is doing this, but okay, well, we set an amount for whatever. Like, well, here's what we're going to do for your sponsorship, because it's not what we're about. We're not putting you on here to sell your stuff for you. And they understood that, and we got asked and asked and asked, and of course, that's dwindled off, and we don't have any sponsors. But what we did with the sponsor money that we got, we still pay out of pocket for all of our of course,
StreamYard,
but all our StreamYard and everything, which is expensive, and the Apple and all that. I mean, for both of us, I mean, it's over $1,000 a year just for us to host this. Not to mention the stuff we bought to do this too. But so like at MTE, but last 2 years, we put that money towards the tangible stuff that we can give out. So the stickers, the koozies, all that type of stuff, to get it out there. So you guys get new clothes.
New clothes. I think he's talking about because the Ginger Bros, you had problems with your manufacturer for the clothes and stuff.
I got somebody do it, and I love these types of shirts, so I will start working on that. So
sweet.
Yeah, but we just put that back in. It's kind of like running the business. Put the money back into the business. We just put it back into this, but we take the money and don't spend it on our re-upping our accounts and all this for StreamYard. We still pay out of pocket. We put it to give back to everybody that's been
swag.
So,
yeah.
And then we just like to have fun. So like last year in MTE and this year, I mean, we're just throwing koozies out. And like our tag team this year, we were the Troll Dolls or whatever, and I had them
Troll balls.
We spent the money on those and throwing them out to everybody. Just stuff that's fun and
it's a Ginger Bros, not Ginger Hoes. That's hilarious.
Exactly. Yeah. We didn't do this to make money. We didn't do it to get sponsors to pay us for anything. When we got asked about it, we're like, okay, well then what do we charge? What do we do? And what do we do with the money? And I think we've done great with it. So
just by the little that I've known about it, and then with your awards, y'all's awards and everything, you can tell that people genuinely appreciate what y'all are doing because it's authentic.
Yeah.
And you're not trying to push stuff or anything like that. I understand sales and everything like that, but just the show and everything like that that's pretty neat.
Yeah.
That's what I was talking about when I was talking to you, Brandon.
Yeah. Well, I love talking about it, and so when you asked me about it, it was like one of the first times I'd ever been asked, and I'm just like, okay, yeah, let me explain it. But then we got caught up on stage, and I couldn't finish explaining it. So
he didn't tell me a story. Wait.
I love the fact that everybody we've had on, like I could be dead tired on Wednesday. Take today, for instance. We'll hop on the show, talking to somebody great like you, and like I'm re-energized and stuff. It re-energizes me for the week too. So I love that aspect of it. I love the networking. Like all the people we've had on, I consider friends now. So you know what I mean. So it's huge.
We didn't want to, and we haven't been scripted. We didn't want to do that. We just wanted to be relaxed, just 3 guys, girls, whatever you want to call it, 10, 20 of us on here at a time, just talking like we're on a Zoom call or face to face.
Right.
You know, because we've had several guests who were like, I've never done this before. And at the end of the show, they're like, oh, that was awesome. That was easy. Like, I told you, it's just like 3 of us sitting around talking.
That's why I tell everybody I ask. It's like, it's just going to be us bullshitting. That's all it is.
Yeah.
There's nothing behind it.
And drama free. We will always be drama free. You know, we won't, we'll leave opinions on stuff to ourselves, but
yeah,
we just we don't want that.
Yeah. I've just met some terrific people in the business. It's just, people who really give you the shirt off their back.
Absolutely.
You know, all the names like, you know, Mike and Don and other people, Kevin. One of the guys that was a competitor of mine at the time, Naman, some of y'all may know him, but he was working a dealership that I was working at. And so, like, I always get up early. If it wasn't 6, it was 4 to work out or whatever, get to work and start working. So this kid from Dent Wizard would be at the dealership and like, what in the world? Like, he's writing up cars. He's getting approval from another manager. I go to a manager who I usually get approval from, get to work. He's got keys to a car I'm supposed to do. Like, so anyway. So I've known this kid for a couple of years. So I say kid, he's not a kid anymore, but you know, everybody in me now is like kid. So one day he had passed on a job, and it happened a few times actually. And I saw the job, like, I'm gonna do it. So I fixed it. And he was like, he came up to me. He's like, "Are you fixing that?" Like, yeah. And he goes, "Oh, hey, I was like, "Man, get away from me, dude. You're at the other side, you know."
Yeah.
But we ended it. He was super awesome. And so he wanted to be better after he saw me taking on stuff he didn't want to do. And so he came up to me, I think a time later, he goes, "Yeah, when you started doing stuff that I wasn't doing," he goes, "it motivated me to do more." And I actually took that as a compliment. Like,
oh, yeah. No, for sure.
Yeah, and then he's not working for Dent Wizard anymore. He's chasing hail and stuff like that. And he was actually the first guy to help me get. Like I told him, I said, "Naman, if it hails this year, let me know. I'd like to hang out with you if I can." And I don't think that's like most hail guys. Like, it's my place. I may get one. More. I don't know how that works because I don't really chase. But I asked him, and he said, "Yeah." So ended up putting my name out there at the MTE at a couple of places. And the guy calls me up on a Friday. It was some other company, and was like, "Hey, got some hail in Denver. Would like you to come." I said, "Okay, I can be there." Like, it's this Friday around 11 in the afternoon. He goes, "Yeah, I can be there Monday." He goes, "Ooh," I'm like, what's ooh? What I need you here tomorrow. I'm like 11.
Yeah.
So I called my wife at the time. I said, "Hey, I got a job in Denver pushing hail." "Okay, when do you leave? Like Monday?" Like, "No, when I get home."
Yeah.
And went to work. But then I hooked up with Naman there, ended up making a ton of money. And it was all because, like, I helped him, he helped me.
Yeah.
And it was, and hey, like, if he needs anything or I need something, I know he'll do, whatever. And the guy's all over the place. He travels everywhere. Yeah. But just some super awesome people.
No, absolutely.
That's how it should be.
Yeah. And, not like when I first got started, there was people like they called him the old man. He was probably as old as he is now. But back in, 96, or 92, he wouldn't talk and he wouldn't show you anything. He'd stop working, he'd lay like a blanket over his tools or something. Like,
yeah,
okay, like, it's not a secret. It's just like you have to be really good at what you do,
Russo watched the old labels.
Yeah. So, but just seeing all the different people and meeting them, like Mike Toledo like that guy has motivated me to be better. And he didn't even know it. Like I had to tell him like 3 years after I saw one of his first videos, he was pushing on a Suburban and he had this it was a fairly big plastic tip or rubber tip they put on a tool. I was like, what the heck? Where'd he get that from? So like I just watched the video over and over and then would watch other videos they did. But I just had to tell him one time when I met him, I was like, man, I don't know if you know, but you've been very inspirational to me and want to be the best I can be just by putting out videos. Like he didn't really make he wasn't doing it to make money. He was just doing it to show what he could do, you know, but it's just how many people did he help in those videos and still helps to this day. You know, it's like y'all doing trainings and stuff like that and people just sharing information. It's motivational for people. It's inspiring. And I like to do that, you know, if it's, you know, I want everybody to succeed. Like I'm not, if a guy's driving a Lamborghini, I'm not jealous. Like, I love that. I want to do that. Like, how did you do it? How can I be better to do that? You know, I always like still like when I graduated high school, I went to college. I went to college at community college. I went there for 2 weeks, 3 dates, and I was done.
So like me.
I can't do it. Like I just want to work with my hands. And so I started working at the transmission shop. But all through, like as soon as I got done with school, I wanted to learn then. Like so I'd learn, like I wanted to work out and I wanted to be you know, learn what to do. So I read Muscle and Fitness magazine for probably 6-7 years straight, cover to cover. And so everything I've wanted to learn about now, I go after it and just try to learn as much as I can, whether it's that, PDR, law. I mean, I get a ticket and it's a shit show at court. Like, you can't do that. Yes, I can. Here's why, blah, blah, blah. Case dismissed, whatever. And just then hold judges accountable and stuff like that. So studying law and stuff like that is important to me. But then after the second divorce, I was like, man, I'm doing something wrong. Like I can't blame it on those women. Like I did something wrong or I didn't do it right. So what have I been doing since then? Okay, YouTube University and relationships, just all that stuff, you know. And so like I just want to continue to learn to be the best I can be, no matter what it is, you know. So that's
awesome. And by the way, it's Mike Toledo's birthday today, so happy birthday, Mike.
This must be Ray. Yeah, he trained Ray's whole family, so it was awesome watching.
Yeah, I was telling my youngest son, I said, you know, if you ever like stop being like me when I was that young, then I'll train you, but I'll probably have to send you to either Mike or somebody else, you know, that does training. Bryce, you know, Bryce. Like,
I have
to spend some money to train this kid, but I was like, I'm not training you till you're responsible, okay?
Right.
Speaking of, you know, they got the PDR College is doing the what's the seminar called?
Advanced Skills Seminar.
Advanced Skills,
And speaking of Mike, they're doing the Mega Media events coming up too.
So Mike, I'm trying to decide. I want California, and then
both of them.
The Advanced is going to be at Matt Moore's place in Atlanta. So
it's like, do I want to learn to fix dents better, or do I want to learn to advertise better? You know what I mean? Like there's two totally at different ends.
Atlanta's a lot closer to me, so that's probably where I'm going to go.
I ain't never been to Cali though, so 29 Palms don't count.
I think I've spoken 2 or 3 times at Mega Media events just about these dent warranties and how to get the most money out of them, because like everybody's like, oh, you don't do a dent warranty, it's only $65-$75. Like, no, like that's probably 30-35% of my business, and it's good, you know. Once you realize what they say and what they do are 2 different things, like
buddy.
Make it work out really good.
I'll have to talk to you about that.
Because I've had Dent Zone twice, and I hate Dent Zone, and I'm tired. Like I don't even want no more after that whole issue. So
they're probably one of my best customers, actually.
Really,
Kevin was kind of telling me that, and they kind of got me intrigued. So
I know Duck Hillius has a lot of luck with them too, but I ain't figured it out yet.
Yeah. Yeah, you can talk to me later about that. It's
Okay.
but it's great. You're helping them, you're helping their customer, and you're making money.
Right.
You know? And it helps you do the stuff you like to do.
Exactly.
I
What it's
wouldn't mind
all
doing
about.
it all. It's just I've had, doing that third party, insurance stuff before. I've had customers stand in front of me for hour and a half, and them cussing them out. Me after I'd already told them I don't do it, and they were told by the dent company that they'd pay it in full, just get me to repair it, send the invoice. Well, I ain't gonna relinquish the vehicle till I'm paid.
Right.
And anyway, it makes you where you don't want to do it. But of course, I don't know how to play the game.
Yeah, there's probably only one or two places I don't associate with anymore. One of them's out of California, and it just like took too long to get my money. But with all our smartphones and all these apps now, it makes it pretty easy to do work for most of these people. Most of these dent warranty companies, stuff like that. So
Yeah, we'll have to talk about that.
Yeah. Well, cool. Well, we're almost an hour and a half in, so I think we're gonna shut it down. I could talk. I could talk for hours, but I see Andy's like,
look. No, it ain't that. I'm just like I can't hardly open my eyes. I've been staring at white vehicles for 2 weeks straight, all day, every day. My eyes are shot.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate y'all having me on, and
thank you for coming on, brother.
About y'all's stuff, and yeah, it was really neat meeting Brandon at the deal, and I am really fascinated. I want to learn more about what people do and stuff like that, and what makes them tick too, for sure. So
we go on every Wednesday at 6 p.m. We're live just like this. So next week, that Greg O'Ree,
Greg Shooting,
he's going to be our guest. He's new to it. There he is.
He didn't. This was
that was earlier, but we both met him at MTE.
He's hilarious.
He's up there around Kavanaugh and Vidine and them. So
Kavanaugh trained him.
Yeah. But anyway, he's going to be our guest next week, so everybody tune in. But we appreciate you coming on, Steve, and
thank you, brother,
and us getting to know you better, and everybody else who is watching and who will go back and listen and stuff like that. You'd be surprised at how many downloads we get of every episode. It's crazy.
Andy and Brandon, I certainly appreciate y'all having me on, and to everybody else out there as well as y'all, don't let anything steal your joy.
Yes,
sir. Yes, sir. Well, we're gonna end the broadcast, but we're gonna put you in the back room. So when I end it, we'll say our goodbyes after I end it. But anyway, again, thanks for coming on. Thanks everybody for watching and commenting all night. And it was a great show. And if you missed it, go back and listen. But
as soon as Brandon puts it up,
yep. As soon as I put it up, I'm gonna try to do that tonight. Anyway,
if you see me around, you can come up and talk to me. I don't mind.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, if we don't see you, or if I don't see you before MTE next year, we'll have to make it a point to be able to get together and talk and eat dinner or something like that. But
sounds good.
It's always just a busy time, and I forget to meet a lot of people. But anyway, again, thank you everybody, and we'll see y'all next week.
Bye, everybody.
Peace.